Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final week of the regular season of NAST. I'm Lego Mage here today with Brickbat, and we're going to be bringing you um, possibly the hypest match of the series or of the season. It's literally the two top teams right now, the undefeated Misfire Dynasties versus the ever steady Corpse Control, sitting at 8-2. And they're basically duking it out for a first place. Well, no, I guess not a first place spot because Misfires literally has a 90% set win rate. But they're going to be going at it tonight in our singular series of the night. So looks like we've got some maps coming in. So I guess Brickbat, tell us what we got lined up for us.
Yeah, I believe we're going to be going to Oni Village game one, followed by Atlas's Lab, and then if it does go to game three, we are going to end it off on Aten City. Which I think the first impression I immediately had when seeing that map pool was, how did this get through? For Misfire Dynasty, you have pretty much the three most open maps in the map pool, and you're playing against like the Estelle guy, which I think will be an incredibly strong pick on all three of these, despite the nerfs to the characters. So I'm interested to see if Corp Control will be able to take advantage of that. They potentially have a plan here to answer the Estelle. So maybe they're Giga Brain and actually trying to bait out the Estelle pick on the maps. I could very easily see that being the case, but in that case, I do think it'll be an uphill battle if Coil does decide to elect into it. Of course, he does have a bigger character pool. He's even played Brawler in some situations, so I think Zyre will be filling in that role tonight. So he's not exactly something that you could ban out per se. Obviously, you can't be 10-0 with a 90% set win percentage by being someone that can be banned out. That being said, it is the strongest character, at least historically. So we'll see. We'll see what can happen with it. Another thing as well. I want to point out as well this insane set percentage win, a 90.9 set percentage win. Misfire Dynasty have been absolutely tearing their way through the regular season. So I think if there is a team that can dethrone them, it'll be Corpse Control. It could have been Ice Climbers, but probably not. But it will be Corpse Control. So I know that Carmine has a lot of weight behind his name right now. He's an incredibly good player. Has been playing both midfield and brawler, probably up to a NASA up to a NASA level. I've been very impressed with his performance. So. We'll see if he will be able to match up with Coil here, even though I do think he's going to be filling in the brawler position here.
Yeah, and looks like our character picks and awakenings have come in as well. It's going to be an extra special peak performance start, so good kind of all round start there. And looks like if this is correct, I think they might be backwards in the lobby, but I believe Misfire Dynasties ended up going for blue side first pick, and they did get the Estelle first. So we will be seeing either peak performance or extra special Estelle. Either of those could be pretty good. I could probably a stagger angle, honestly, to just build into that. But they also picked up Mako and Kazan as well. So kind of a scary Oni Village comp coming out there from Misfire. But over on the other side, we got Kai's and Taro Finney from Corpse Control. So a lot of kind of like going for kind of a wide range of core control type things, which is what you want on Oni Village. But I mean, like you pointed out, that Estelle is definitely something to look out for. Incredibly strong on this map. Coil is a really good player. And I mean, with these starting awakenings, I don't see any character being like too insanely strong off of start. So we may just have to see how this plays out. It's looking kind of equal coming into it.
Yeah, I could agree. I think this Finny pick is really, really interesting, especially in Oni Village. Recently, Finny got a buff. It's just 5 move speed, but it's more than it looks. Especially because Finny was already the fastest character in the game, or tied for the fastest character. Now she is definitively the the fastest character in the game. Apologies. And with a peak performance start, that will be increased. She will benefit from that more than any other character here in this roster. And having a move speed advantage on Oni Village is going to be incredibly, incredibly powerful. Especially if this Finny's going to be playing the midfield and it's a Kai goalie. So I'm interested to see, regardless if it is regardless, even if it is in the goalie position, that move speed that you can get from peak performance and momentum boots is like not to be underestimated. That is an insane amount of just move speed and mobility that can be used to just position wherever you want on the map. A lot of Finny's weaknesses is like her issues with dealing with stuff, issues with dealing with pressure, but oftentimes with this movement speed buff, if you don't have someone constantly procking the momentum speed boots, she could often just win strike wars before they even happen just by walking in front of the enemy forward. Just looking at what answers they have to that on the other side of the enemy team, the stealth cooldown can work. The hit stun's obviously going to be very good as well, but it is a high cooldown. So oftentimes we might actually have to rely on Kazan using his primary, which is often used instead to do mix-ups and do scoring that way. But if you're using that just to proc the momentum boots, then that could actually create a little bit of problems for a little bit of problems for any sort of Kazan trying to look to score. That being said, it's still Oni Village, and if Finny is played in goalie, you're not going to have a melee goalie that could constantly lock it down if it does get to that situation. So we'll see. We'll see if it actually does end up getting to that point. I think on Oni Village, most of these players should be opting in to the peak performance as well. Generally speaking, Zentaro can go extra special if he feels a need to for self-preservation as he gets to abuse that kind of the invulnerability frames. He usually abuses those invulnerability frames given to him by his specials to stay alive more, but there's not a lot of lethality really on the other team. So I'm really expecting a 6 extra special star unless like the Mako decides to go, or sorry, 6 peak performance star unless the Mako decides to go extra special here.
Yeah, that's like kind of what I was thinking. Extra special is pretty good on Mako, and on this map as well. One of the big kind of objectives as goalie is you just really care about one of the barriers. You pick one and sit on it, especially with a character like Mako. So you might not really need that extra move speed as much if you're just kind of taking up a lot of space and able to throw out the cage a lot more. But you know, we'll find out as we get into it. But actually, looks like the lobby was I don't know, something was backwards. It was actually corpse control that got the Estelle Mako Kazan picks. So we said that backwards at the beginning. That was my bad, but that's interesting. So that means Coil is going to be the one either on the Kai or the Finny here. Zack Smack is in fact the one on the Estelle. So they actually sniped it away from Misfire Dynasties. And yeah, Coil Coil on the Kai this go around looks like.
Yeah, Asianator as well. I just assumed when it was on the other side, it was taken away from Asianator. He's essentially, I mean, Finny is by far and away his best character. So oftentimes teams will try to target that away from him, but he's known to like play debut in this situation, I believe. So he's still able to do that. But it looks like already Carmine winning a lot of early strike wars, getting some pressure on Asianator. And when it does get to that situations where Finny does have to take a strike war or like get really close to the enemy brawler, it can be a bit of an issue. That being said, he has that peak performance, he has that momentum boost. There's a lot of situations where he'll be able to outmaneuver Carmine, and I think that'll make it very, very hard for them to get to this final barrier.
Yeah, it seems like, well, I was going to say they're struggling a little bit, but a nice shot from Zack Smack will secure it here. Grand finale from Asianator will be able to clear it out though, but Carmine is still hovering around looking for this point as looks like they're having a little bit of trouble getting some offense going of their well. Zarya hasn't really been able to hit the core all that much. It's been in Carmine's hands for like most of this round here. And still, again, with the crooked leverage, just keeping it held down and now bringing it to the bottom side here. There's the barrier finally going down. Zentaro ulti coming out. He's not going to be able to get a favorable angle, unfortunately, though. It's Carmine looking to set up Zack Smack, maybe, but not going to be too much here. The core flips are coming online, though, for both sides. It's already in the bottom side. K20 able to clear it around the top. There's a grand finale. Is Coil pushing up. Core flip getting burned here. Shot to the bottom's good. And that's going to be Misfire Dynasties first on the board.
Yeah, I like that. Well played from Coil and Zyre with maybe interactions that they needed to win. Zyre especially sniping away a goalie barrier from K20, I believe, off of a missed strike shot, which was a good advantage, taking advantage of that misstep as well. Asianator, though, I think, did something really, really interesting that a lot of Finny goalies should be looking to do, and that's using their abilities before it even gets close to you, as they already get some goal barriers here. So Asianator using a lot of his abilities like far in ahead of the core in order to prevent some situations from ever happening, but we'll see if we'll be able to defend this.
Both barriers open now. Coil not looking so healthy at the moment, but Zaire holding on to this core for a pretty long time. Faking out K20 as well. Getting a nice Strike War win. Is going to save Coil's life as well as bring Misfire Dynasties to set point to look nice and comfy here. But yeah, it seems like when they're able to get the core away from Carmine, they're able to kind of cook a little. When the core is in Zaire's hands, he's been doing good stuff, getting a lot of barriers and whatnot. But when Carmine's able to hold on to that core, he just seems to hold on to it for a pretty long time.
Yeah, and that's something that's, I think, really, really special about Carmine as a player. They're incredibly good. They're one he's one of the brawlers that kind of instinctively gets strike wars and has the ability to strike second pretty consistently. And I think that's actually, especially in Nasty, that's something to really, really have. A lot of players, pretty much every player and brawler in Nasty does have this ability, but it's something that you really, really need if you do want to end up scoring pretty consistently on goalies. And I think that he's been consistently doing it, and that looks really good so far.
Yeah, for sure. And now we got the kind of top barrier setups right now. Zaire looking to try and dribble it around and bait out something from K20, but so far, K22 holding on pretty well, just clearing it out into this empty space, letting Zach Smack kind of cook. There's a piercing shot, trying to set Carmine up for the pop-up. Not going to be able to quite find it here. As we go into overtime, though, we're going to have a little bit of extra core speed that this Kazan press the point to be able to work with a bit more now. Aginator does have a core flip up as well, though, and snare jumps coming out in the speed lane, but fortunately, the bounce out the backside will mean Aginator is going to be able to clear it out here. Core flip, kind of dribbling on the top side, getting over to Coil. Zaxmac looking to intercept that, but Zaire with the Zentaro ultimate will be able to shut that down for enough time. Try and hold it down, but Carmine looking for the top spin. Not going to be enough, though. K20 trying to pass it back in right now, but so far the defenses of both sides just holding on pretty well, getting some pretty standard Oni Village gameplay, but that whiffed core flip from K20 is going to be bad as the barrier is now gone. Coil looking for the shot. Going to actually be able to find it against the Strike War win on Carmine. Right into the bottom. That'll be the set going over to Misfire Dynasty.
Yeah, and Misfire Dynasty, incredibly good defense that play. All three players rotated back, and in kind of a rare stint, all three players were individually useful in the defensive plays. Zaire stopped a really good, well-placed shot, I believe, from Zach Smack with Zentaro ultimate. Coil there was able to provide some defensive assistance and passing angles as well, and Asianator was playing exactly like you'd expect with a goalie. They were able to hold it down and prevent any sort of mix-ups from really getting to them. And they're going to be rewarded really, really heavily for this. This is a quick strikes Kai on Oni Village. You're able to get much tighter angles. You're able to get pretty much whatever you want and win a lot of those ping pongs that tend to naturally kind of arise on Oni Village. So this is an incredible advantage. And on the other side of draft as well, Zaire actually has peak performance fall down to him, even though the damage is not incredibly high, especially because he went slicks over something like the Siphoning Wand. He's gonna pump out so much damage if he even gets one more damage awakening. So that's gonna be a potential ticking time bomb here in draft if that's not immediately denied out by the side of corpse control.
In perfect form, even after getting changed, still very strong on Zentaro indeed, but there we go. A nice blink from Zach Smack is going to be able to put corpse control on the board here. Utilize some of that blink range. It's a really good draft all around, though. I mean, you get the Orb Ponderer on the Mako. Carmine's already stacking those Rampage stacks, and that's just going to be even more size to win the Strike Wars here with the Kazan. And, of course, getting blink range on Estelle is just really good in general, especially on a map like this. But one barrier falling from each side pretty quickly here. Core flip KO coming out from Coil on to Carmine, though. Means the power play is here for the side of Misfire Dynasty. Core flip here from K20 will be able to stall it out for a little while longer. Carmine right back online right as the barrier goes down. Unfortunately, Primary from Asianator is going to get it out there. So the snare drums coming in, trying to get it in Zaire's hands, but it's going to be cleared out here. Now back to Zach Smack. Not going to be able to line up the piercing shot there, but K20 sending it right back in for another go. However, not enough momentum. Going to be able to chase that one down, unfortunately. Triple take coming out from Asianator. Is going to bring it over to the top side. Zaire looking to cook something up. But Carmine now crooked leverage. Goes for the pop-up. Isn't able to find the core, though, unfortunately. And now there's energy up for the side of Misfire. So they're looking for something. They're come out. They get a wide core flip here from Coil. Blocked by Zach Smack. Zaire looking for the shot with the passive, but a great save from K20. Keeps it held down as we enter overtime.
Yeah, the flip's going to come out from Asianator. It's been pretty big so far, but with Zach Smack with this flip, they might be able to get this final goalie barrier, but they're going to need to catch this rebound in order to keep that offensive play going. And now that that's going to be missed, things are looking really, really bad here for corpse control.
Yeah, they still got a barrier to bring down right now, and it's Asianator's just holding on really well. The Grand Finale coming out as well. Actually kind of back passes it a little bit. Just keeps some control going, but Coil is right there. And Snare Drum's coming out from K20, but there's a Zenalt from Zyre. However, it's going to get sent backwards a little bit here. Back over into Carmine's hands, but Coil with the Giga Blast will be able to get out of that one. K20 looking to send it right back into this corner. Zach Smack up on the top side with the piercing shot. Gets it. Coil with the flip, trying to get it out. Both sides are opened up, though. Zyre looking for a shot to the top. Core flip save there from K20, getting over to Carmine. They got to get it through the midfield here. Core flip from Carmine, blocked by Zyre, but K20 with the Mako secondary, able to get it out. Zyre can't find the dash, and it's still good. Still going around, and now Carmine on the bottom side with the dribble, looking to get it past Coil, but they have just lost their midfielder. It's a 2v3, and the slam launches it backwards, but they're still holding on right now. Zyre the top side versus K20. But they're holding right now. Corpse Control will not let it through. The crook leverage from Carmine saves the shot. An incredible play, and now Zach Smack is back online here, and they're looking to set up a point. Tops it from Carmine, but Coil gets it out. Piercing shot, sends it to Asianator. It's right back to Zyre, putting it in the top corner, looking for the dash, but doesn't have enhanced range on that. Not gonna be able to find it. Blink for Zach Smack, almost goes in, but Coil and Asianator able to hold it down, and now Zyre has a flip in the top side, burning it here, looking for the shot right into the top side of K20, and that actually bounced, it curved with the Mako secondary, with the drum and bass to go straight in there. If that had gone straight, K20 would have been able to just strike it back. A beautiful shot from Zyre to put Misfire onto the board there.
Yeah, good awareness of Mako's weaknesses as well in order to get that through. But I think one thing to also look at in this game, look where Carmine's positioning. I noticed that in the previous point, but he's positioning with Kazan quite well to cover both two angles. One with just his regular straight hitbox, but another with his pull hitbox, which he uses to intercept passes, and that actually makes him pretty formidable on the defensive here. So more of that will look really, really good for Corpse Control. That being said, they're going to be down in this game so far.
And Snare Drum's there to block off Coil's core flip now, but now it's Carmine with some energy up, looking for a position to score. Not going to burn it there, going to be a little patient. Wait for some more cooldowns to maybe come out right now, but core flip getting burned here from K20 to bait out the dash from Zyre. Is now Carmine pushing up into this top side, the top spin, Asianator burning the core flip. Keep held down, Carmine still holding on to his. Maybe going to use it here, doesn't even need to. Zach Smack able to win the strike war just by blinking up to that top side, and now it's Corpse Control who have brought it to set point as they're looking to maybe take one of their own.
Yeah, there's so much unexpected mobility here from Zach Smack. The Asianator has been caught off, like, I believe 2 or 3 times so far this game. Pretty much most of the goals have come from Estelle blinking in with the enhanced range on top of the added mobility from the Mako secondary, which makes the Estelle assault like way harder to deal with, I think, for Asianator, which I think has really been interesting to watch and see that coordinated. And I think that's going to be the key of getting through Asianator, who often likes to who needs on this Finny to predict and see where the play is headed in order to have good ability usage. But if he's not able to get that because of like the speed at which Zach Smack is blinking and running towards them, it can actually be very hard to defend.
Yeah, absolutely, but now both barriers are down, and Coil running at the bottom with this core flip up. Actually just going to burn it right here, and a great shot. It's going to be sending it right into the bottom side. The absolute speed on this Kai right now, the character's already really fast in general. Just going a little bit faster even with those slick kicks. I mean, not a lot to be done in that situation, but that's going to put Misfire Dynasties to tie it up 2-2 on set point, as they could very easily just take this one. And like you were saying earlier, if the Zentaro gets like a good damage awakening, it could be not a great situation. And you know, if Coil's able to get a haste awakening as well, things could look kind of grim for Corpse Control if the awakenings begin to get out of hand when they're already kind of on the back foot.
Yeah, and there's so many Exodias that could be built. I mean, 1-2 Punch, Catalyst, like are all on the table here, so Coil could potentially be very empowered very soon. Not to mention that with the peak performance start, pretty much anyone could benefit from the stagger awakenings as well. So yeah, and especially on the side of Corpse Control, if they're the ones able to nab that, then the Perfect Force Zentaro isn't actually as big of an Exodia as it otherwise would be. Not only that, they'll get the added move speed as well. So if they can get that, they might have a chance here in draft.
However, losing that barrier is not particularly great. Coil now burning the core flip right as we hit overtime to send it back in the midfield. But Zach Smack dribbling around, the grand finale coming out. Asianator barely getting it past the piercing shot right there. As things are looking tight, pass over to Zari. Strike shot saved from K20. Gets it back over to Zach Smack though. Coil losing the strike war though. Zach Smack, an incredible strike. The last possible moment after Coil hit that. Wow, I'm watching that on the replay. That was crazy. is going to, in fact, mean that Corpse Control will take that set. And Stacks and Aerials, as well as Team Player, actually both appearing in this draft. There's a lot of really good things here. Reverb, 1-2 punch as well. But it's
Stacks.
Yeah, Stacks angle for sure.
Being rewarded with stacks is really good, especially denying Coil the quick strikes as well. But that being said, Coil still gets Chrono Boost. He's quite happy with this overall. He'll still have an ability advantage here coming into this. Another thing as well, actually the 1-2 passed up for that perfect form of Dentaro in hopes of getting a Dash Awakening instead, which is something that's incredibly valid, especially on Oni Village, where you need that you need that extra mobility up and running pretty much ASAP in order to get that. And with Explosive's entrance gone as well, Chrono Boost I believe gone as well, you're not sure when you're gonna, if you can even get another move speed, or sorry, another Dash Awakening for the Zentaro. So it makes sense for him to opt into that over the extra damage.
Yeah, once again, just a really good draft for both teams. Pretty much everyone getting something that they want, and really just keeping this thing close. But Coil's already level 10. This guy's been putting in a little bit of work in the midfield, to be sure. Just fighting Carmine and Zack Smack as well, getting a lot of redirects and whatnot. But both barriers down now for the side of Corpse Control, as Coil and Zari looking to set something up. A dangerous clear from K20, but it does pay off. Get it out of there. However, Carmine and Zack Smack have a bit of work to do. Try and get this barrier. The Rose Thorn is going to be enough, though. Bring that down. There's a top spin from Carmine. Coil on the defense, though. Core flip here from Zari. Blocked by the primary from K20. Just batting that one away. A perfect pitch. And now a core flip burnt from K20. He's going to get stalled out, though. But they're trying to get it back over to Carmine right now. Zari coming in. Forces out Zack Smack's core flip. Grand Finale sends it right back, though. Looking, trying to get a hold of this core. Maddening descent from Carmine sends it back in. Has the core flip, but it's going to get slowed down by the Zentaro ult, but not be able to get in range. Zack Smack looking for another opportunity here. Carmine burns the flip on the air, unfortunately, as they're playing around this top speed lane quite a lot right now. Giga Blast from Coil takes out Zack Smack, though, and that's the power play for Misfire Dynasty. Carmine in the top side, just trying to buy some time, dribbling around. Looking for a shot to the bottom, actually. There's the top spin. Core flip back coming out from Asianator there. Great strike shot from K20. Will be able to save it away, and Zack Smack is back online right now, but things are still looking pretty tight. Coil does whiff the flip, so it's going to be neutral for the energy right now, but Carmine and Zack Smack are on this top side looking for the point. Asianator will be able to get out to the bottom side, narrowly missing a Giga Blast and a dash. K20 is able to keep it held down for the moment, but now Zari and Coil in this top corner looking for the point. Not quite able to find it. Carmine with some beautiful Kazan work, though, able to clear it out. Blink to the top from Zack Smack. There's a Grand Finale from Asianator once again to hold it down. But this could go into any time. One mess up, and it'll be over for both teams right here. Azaria almost finds it in the top side, but K20 barely able to get that one out. And once again, the pass! K20 looked like he was going to the top, but went to the bottom instead, and Zari called that out. And that's the point for Misfire.
Yeah, and Zari there as well. I think he got that because he got the projectile bonus on Zentaro passive. Which he got from aerials, so that was incredibly good use of the passive there, knowing the range as well, especially with aerials. So yeah, absolutely well-earned point here from the side of Misfire Dynasty, and if they keep this up, then they'll be able to win a potentially crucial second set here.
Yeah, every set, every point seems like it's crucial as how close this game is going. And Snare Drum's coming out from K20 as Asianator hitting a nice Soren angle to keep it held down, but Zack Smack with the piercing shot's going to kill the goalie. And now it's a massive power play for the side of Corpse Control. We're going to have 3 flips up as well. K20 the first to burn it as Carmine looking to find the shot here. Coil with a flip in return will be able to buy enough time, though, for Asianator to come back online. But now Zack Smack's turn, however, it's going to get blocked away. And straight to Zari, who finds the barrier for Misfire Dynasty and Coil in this bottom side. Now looking for the setup, and Snare Drum's coming out. That extra special coming in big there. And Zari whiffs the flip as well. Good defense there from K20, but it doesn't matter because Zari's going to be able to line up the dash perfectly and sink it right in. And now that's Misfire Dynasty once again on set point up 2-0 and looking to take it.
Yeah, and Catalyst is still on the table here, which I think is incredibly big, especially for both the Quick Strikes Kai and Zentaro, who has 1 million hits. So this could potentially be curtains if Catalyst is in the next draft. So right now, it's if they lose the set, if Corpse Control loses the set, it is 50-50 on whether or not they're going to be very down on the energy game for the rest of the game. So every point matters right now in this set specifically. So we'll see who comes out on top here.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tight one to be sure. But right now, it's Dynasties who have a goal open that they have to contend with. And K20, who's defending the lonesome barrier here, a bit of a reverse from what we've normally been seeing. Carmine pushing up with the dash into pop-ups, actually be able to find it straight through Coil there. Some great positioning, some great sight there from Carmine. And that will put Corpse Control on the board here. So they're not out of it yet, but they do have to be careful. I mean, really anything can happen. One more point and Misfire Dynasty will just take this one. And Snare Drum's already getting used here from K20, and the barrier going down as we get into the kind of diagonal barrier setup right now. Both teams likely just going to kind of go into more of a pass it around and get some standard Oni Village type stuff going on right now. Great clear from K20 as well. Keep away from Zari, but 2 core flips up. Actually, nice bait from Zaxmack. Is going to be that only Coil's got the flip up. However, the dash from Zari is going to be able to bring down that barrier. There's the Snare Drums once again. Corpse Control is still once again on the back foot here with an open goal and a barrier to contend with.
Yeah, and wow, an excellent like anti-stuff from Carmine. He might be able to take this goal solo here, especially with the help of Zaxmack's hit stun. It's an excellent goal from the side of Corpse Control, and now they've evened up the set here, potentially being the ones to take this one and nabbing that catalyst for themselves. One thing to look at as well is this is this is an 8-stack rampage from Carmine. This man is absolutely massive right now, and with size being probably Kazan's best stat, he's making life really, really hard for Asianator to deal with, especially with his ability to pretty much just win every strike war on command at this point. And Zyra going down, we might see the end of the set very soon.
Yeah, big power play here. Zaxmack looking to set up Carmine in this bottom side. Nice clears from Asianator. However, Zaxmack teleporting the top is going to be a bit too much pressure. Will allow Carmine to find that 0.5 right now. It will be Corpse Control taking their second set now. Zaxmack is going to be the MVP, and there is the catalyst showing up, but there's also Twin Drive and some more of that size showing up here as well, potentially for Carmine. So we'll have to see what the choice is. It will actually be a Twin Drive pickup from Zaxmack. The catalyst also not getting taken here. The big fish actually from the Kai, leaving Carmine with a little bit of a choice, but will opt for the catalyst. It is just a bit too good, and you cannot risk that Zentaro picking it up.
Yeah, I really don't like this draft. I think Catalyst is still really, really strong. I'm just surprised to see it fall down at all. I think it really should have been Zaxmack taking it, because regardless, your brawler is gonna get size. I guess what happened is Carmine said, well, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a little bit weird. I know why the size was denied from Coil. The size kind of win condition that Carmine has right now is pretty strong, and giving more of that is potentially rough. And with a big fish, especially with the added stagger, means it's going to be harder to kill and remove those stacks as well. So it is a very powerful pickup. That being said, I don't know. I still think Catalyst might be really strong, but I see why Coil went for the draft that he did, and it makes a lot of sense.
Also, Carmine has reverb and peak, so that's a third stagger awakening in addition to the size. It's getting the size stagger crossover Exodia, so it's actually kind of like a really scary pickup there. And Zaxmack, well, Coil was probably expecting Zaxmack to take Catalyst, so when Zaxmack went Twin Drive, it left the Catalyst up on the board for Carmine once the Big Fish got denied. But either way, it is Misfire who are going to be starting us off with that goal, and that core flip burnt as well here in set 4. But I mean, they've gotten first point on a good few of those sets, but it's been kind of going back and forth.
Yeah,
a lot of the time. Like,
yeah, I mean, we saw one set loss. I mean, a 9% chance of that happening. So very, very interesting game. Coming out so far, very close. And one thing to think, I just actually want to talk about Big Fish for a moment, as we do see a little bit of an Oni Village lull come up right now. Big Fish is incredibly impressive in draft, because you both have, especially if you're a brawler taking it, you have the win condition now of just getting size, which is good on it's on the X, it's good on the Kazan, it's good on the Julie, it's good on a lot of brawlers, pretty much with the exception of Centauro. And on top of that, you also give yourself the stagger win condition, because if you get the peak plus the Big Fish plus the reverberation, you all of a sudden have just a bucket of stats to work with. And brawlers use pretty much every single stat on the stagger kind of stagger line incredibly well. So it's a really good thing to pick up, especially early on, so you get a lot of checkmates in draft as you go throughout the game. So if you've got nothing good to pick up on brawler and no BIST picks or anything, it's not a bad kind of default trading to fall back on, I think, at least. It's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, though, Corpse Control, once again, they have that open goal against that top barrier that they have to contend with. And, a lot of pressure to be coming out their way as well. Right now, Zaxmac doing a good job of keeping the core in this bottom corner, though, where Carmine can hopefully grab a hold of it at some point. But most importantly, where Zari can't touch it. That's really the big thing right now is great Strike War win there from Asianator. We'll keep it held down right now, but it's just kind of a bit of a stalemate. However, Zari dashing to the top side. There's the core flip. The snare drums come out, though, from K20. Totally shut that push down, and we're right back into this bottom corner where it's Coil versus Zaxmac trying to set their forwards up. The core flip from Asianator is not going to get too far, and this is some Oni Village gameplay. But Carmine with the core flip finally able to find it, and that's the barrier going down, and now we're getting some action right now as K20 looking to set up Zaxmac and Snare Drums, putting Coil in jail. It almost goes right in off the shot from Carmine, but they will be able to hold it over. Zari sends it straight. Oh, K20. Unfortunate angle on the primary, sent a little too far backwards and then whiffed the flip. That's really rough. That puts Misfire up 2-0, and they lose a flip for it. You hate to see that.
Yeah, I was super tragic. K20 just unfortunately locking himself into that cast animation, and basically just didn't have the opportunity to react, which sucks. So honestly, really good placement from Zyra, really good awareness that he could even make that shot in the first place because of the animation lock. But yeah, very unfortunate point for Misfire Dynasty, and so we might be going to a set 5 here if this continues.
Yeah, it seems like it's going that way, but Misfire do have their goal open, and Zaxmac has a flip up. Great grand finale from Asianator. We'll save it against the Rose Thorns here, but flipping it in, Zaxmac's going to find the shot right above all three members of Misfire Dynasty. A beautifully placed one right there to put Corpse Control on the board and drag this one out a bit more. They did come back from the 2-0 deficit before. They may have to do it again to seal the deal on game 1 here, which would be a pretty big upset in and of its own right. But starting off with a double barrier right now, actually, is a pretty good way to do that. And Zaxmac with the teleport, just making it look easy. The quickest goal we've seen all game, a 12-second one to bring it to 0.5.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a 7-stack Carmine right now, 7 stacks on the Rampage, getting an incredible amount. I mean, that's like, yeah, it's like over 50% size from this Awakening alone. It's going to be so incredibly powerful, especially with the peak performance move speed. So things are looking actually really good for Corpse Control. They might be the ones to just lock it out right here, taking it a game, I believe one of the first games off of Misfire Dynasty in the regular season. Yeah,
this could be, I think, Misfire's only game loss, actually. I think they've gone 2-0 in every series they've played, if I'm not mistaken, but that could be absolutely crazy here. But it's going to be up to Carmine and Zaxmac to see it done. Asianator be able to get out there with the core flip and bring it back into this bottom side. Carmine flipping in return here, but Asianator able to catch that one. Send it off to Zyre in the top side, where Coil's also going to be backing him up. Trying to fight something. The drum's coming out, though, and that's putting them in jail for a moment to get it right back to Zaxmac and Carmine methodically once again. Looking for these shots onto this top barrier like they've been doing all game. Nice clear from K20 as well to get it around Zyre. But now we're hitting overtime, and this is where things start to get funky on this map, as this core is going to be moving pretty fast like we've been seeing here. A great strike war from Asianator against the piercing shot. We'll see it saved off, but now Zaxmac and Coil once again ping-ponging it around, trying to set up Carmine here. But Coil holding it down for now. Core flip here, pass up to Carmine. Doesn't quite get the angle, though. And the barrier will remain standing. Zaxmac blink to the top side, tries to go for the combo on the core, but doesn't quite find it. As now it's actually Coil and Zari pushing up on the bottom side, looking for the barrier of their own. Core flip here from K20 puts the jail coming out onto Zari, but core remaining in place for the moment. And now Zaxmac looking to take control of it once again. However, a nice dash from Zari will mean that that's Corpse Control's barrier gone. Coil versus Carmine now in this bottom side. Testing around. Asianator pass to Zari, almost gets a shot off. K20 able to save that one here. Core moving pretty fast. Another pass up to Zari, and snare drums come out, though. And Zari looking for the Zentaro setup, but the core moves a little bit too fast. He's just going to get right past him. And now it's Carmine's turn to look for something here. However, Asianator once again red coring it a million miles away, but K20 sending it right back in. Around the world, a back pass from Carmine to Zaxmac, forces out close score from a pass to Zari. Is going to seal the deal. A great shot, and that's going to be Misfire Dynasty taking it to set 5.
Yeah, team player really coming in clutch for Asianator in this situation. So many clears that just would not have been possible. That point would not have been possible without the team player. So excellent. I mean, just excellent play, honestly. from Aginator in that point, keeping it, keeping that last goalie barrier there under so much pressure. And I realized that this is a historical set here. I believe if I recall correctly, I don't think we've had a single team in any of the leagues go 2-0 every single game for the regular season. So we potentially, if they take this game, if Misfire Dynasty take this game, this might be literally an unbeatable record of regular season series. So we'll see if they'll be able to do that, because it all comes down here to the set here if they're able to take this game.
Yeah, and once again, pretty good draft all around. A third Stagger Awakening on Carmine. Got Orb Dancer on Zaxmac, Missile Prop on K20, and Zari picking up the heavy impacts on Zentaro. Coil with the Rapid Fire Kai, and Asianator with that Prime Time on Finny. Everyone's builds looking pretty stacked right now, as they are just keeping it absolutely neck and neck and immediately trading barriers off of kickoff, kind of like they've been doing all game right now. Asianator does prefer to seem to defend that top one more than likely, and K20 just kind of picks and chooses when they fall. But either way, both teams gonna be playing around this open space for a good while. Get some classic Oni Village gameplay going on.
Yeah, for sure, and we'll see if Aginator will be able to continue with that, especially looking at that previous draft with the extra prime time, just the extra cooldown in general. He's going to be able to make more clutch saves, and you don't really care about the damage loss. I mean, no, I don't think anyone's been KO'd this entire game. So, I believe no, there was like a core flip KO on the edge, I believe, at one point, but that's a crazy bounce from Mako. But we'll see. Caster's Curse strikes, but we'll see if with that prime time does make the difference. I believe it might, especially as Asianator is forced to do a lot of these lockdown plays with a Finny goalie.
Yeah, and maybe Corpse Control are able to take control of this power play, but it doesn't look like it, as Taro is going to be coming back online here and kind of resetting everything to neutral once again. Setting up for a strike core against K20. However, it's actually Coil who finds the core flip off the rebound. But Carmine saying right back at you, getting a barrier now of his own. Zaxmac looking to push up here. Aginator, the team player, passes to Zari, almost finds the shot. But K20 able to hold it down. Zaxmac pass up to Carmine. Looking for a shot here. Zaxmac does have a core flip up. Is in the midfield looking to set up Carmine here. The primary, the card coming out to pseudo away, but Zaxmac able to get control once again and flip it right in. And that's Corpse Control first on the board now in set 5.
Yeah, honestly, really well played from Corpse Control. Carmine and Zaxmac able to create so much pressure on Aginator, and I feel like every goal is just so difficult for both teams to make. I think both goalies are playing exceptionally. I think both midfielders are also playing exceptionally. Zaxmac, I think, has been playing very well offensively, and Coil on the other end has been playing very, very well on the defensive. So if that continues, we still got a lot of Oni Village left in this series so far. So I'll see who's able to finally stand it. As wow, a nice pull from Carmine is actually able to sink it in. We're 1 point away from history being ruined.
Yeah, it does actually look like Misfire has dropped a couple games at some point.
Okay.
So unfortunately it's not a Giga record, but it's still a really crazy impressive win rate nonetheless. Only losing like 2 games is still outrageous.
Yeah. And still, regardless, I mean, an undefeated regular season in terms of like series count is a very, very good resume to go into playoffs with. So we'll see if they'll be able to do that, though, because right now they have an open barrier on this final game or final point.
Yeah. Their goal is open, and Corpse Control would love to just seal this one out right here. Zach's back in the midfield, dribbling around, trying to get it past Zare. You can bring out the Zenolt here. Strike shot going to go wide. Carmine with the shot, but that's Zare going down. And now here's the power play. A couple core flips to work with from Misfire, but only 2 players. They're going to have to stall this one out as long as possible. Coil with the flip here is going to buy a bit of time, and almost actually gets the barrier off of a wild bounce there, but it will remain standing. And Zare comes back online now. Carmine looking for the crooked leverage. Not going to be able to pick that one up, though. Going to try again here now into the top side. Zaxmac rotating down. And the speed lanes, we go into overtime. Back pass here to K20. The strike shot able to save it. Flip down to Zaxmac. Flip here. Send it up to Carmine. Doesn't land the flip, though. And it's going to be still out in the open right now, but another pass here. Coil able to save that one with the barrage. Down to the bottom side, the primary from K20. Keep it in there. Crook coverage from Carmine. Once again, blocked by Coil. And once again, blocked by Coil. But not that time. Third time's the charm from Carmine to win that strike war and sink it into the bottom. Corpse Control will take game 1.
Yeah, absolutely well played from Corpse Control, taking a very rare game off of Misfire Dynasty here and potentially taking this whole series. We're only 1 game away from potentially seeing the upset. pretty much the upset of the regular season here. We'll see if Corpse Control is able to do that. But I think what it came down to, it, excellent play from Zach Mack, excellent play. I mean, excellent play from everyone. I think that Zach Smack's offensive pressure, assisting Carmine in so many situations to get past Asianator's Finny, that I think that earns him rightfully the MVP. I mean, looking at these stats, he scored more goals than his brawler, has higher goal participation as well, and a higher redirect count. So I think that speaks for itself right there. 129 shots. That's a ridiculous stat, by the way. 129 shots from Zach Smack, 125 from Carmine. I think that just spells the story of how much pressure Asianator was under the entire series. And on the other hand, look at Coil playing excellently defensively as well, and almost matching his goalie saves at 108 and 90 respectively. And I think that was really kind of the story of this entire game, kind of an unstoppable force, the unstoppable offensive force here from Corpse Control versus the immovable object defense here from Misfire Dynasty. Eventually, though, Carmine and Zach Smack were able to send the rock in enough times to win the game. But yeah, honestly, props to Zach Smack. I think we were all looking at Carmine during a lot of those plays. He was the one sending the fast core. He's, going into the season, he was one of the most hyped up players going into the season of Nasty. But I think really Zach Smack really pulled out on the Estelle, especially against the Estelle guy Coil. So well played to the midfielder of Corpse Control. Love to see that here coming into game 2, which I believe is going to be an Atlas's lab game, a little bit less open, but a lot of potential here for open plays between the two teams. So we'll see what they'll be able to draft up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Atlas's lab as well, a little bit more favored toward damage than Oni Village. You have a little bit of that environment to work with as well. It's a little bit more close quarters, play around the edges just a bit more. So, I mean, we saw Zari getting some KOs here. We saw some edge KOs as well, just from core flips and whatnot. But I'm curious to see if Misfire opt to go more of a kind of damage route, because like they definitely able to do it, especially if they run Asianator on the Finny again, and just put Zari like back on the Zentaro. The kill pressure could be absolutely real, especially against a lot of potential brawlers, or Kazan notably does not have a lot of stagger, and they could just very well do an angle of like kill Carmine on this map. We'll have to wait and see what the Awakenings end up being, and of course what the drafts turn out to be. It looks like they're kind of setting that up right now. But that would be interesting to see, because obviously you didn't really get to see it that much. Everyone was playing around the core on Oni Village, but Misfire definitely have some damage in the pocket. I'm curious if they're going to end up bringing that out for this game. I feel like it's almost a trend where teams will lose game 1 and then go like a damage comp that's like a little bit risky for game 2, where it's either going to like sweep it and bring it to game 3, or just flounder and they're just going to lose it anyway. I feel like they're allowed to be a little bit more risky when they're down. So I'm curious if that's going to be something that they go for.
Yeah, I know that Coil has a Vice. Coil's played a lot of Vice. I mean, obviously you have a Finny goalie, so you can do those damage plays just between a Vice and Finny. Zyre plays as Zentaro, we just saw that, but it could very easily elect to just start playing damage on that character if he wanted to, especially if he does get his hands on perfect form again. And we don't have a stagger start for the entire game, so that's absolutely something that Misfire Dynasty can pull out. So if they if they do get that opportunity here in this game, I could absolutely see it be a very, very, very easy answer to all the antics that Carmine and Zach Smack are able to pull out. So yeah, we'll see what the draft looks like coming into this game. But I mean, if we see that Vice Finny, that's potentially one of the highest damage comps you could get in this game, especially if you back that up with the Zentaro, or if you back that up with something like the Juliet, even, who could get a lot of kill confirms with the dash punch or the ultimate. There could be a lot of chain kills as well. I think one thing, if you do pick the Juliet, it's going to be very dependent on getting the adrenaline rush going. I think that that kind of awakening really unlocks Juliet's potential, getting the dash punch and then not having to wait 15 16 seconds to do another thing. Essentially, I think that's an incredibly big advantage. 1-2 of course as well, being something that enables that Juliet. So we'll see, but it does look like it it might not be that, because we do have a hot shot prime time start That being said, I think it does look like all of the members of Misfire Dynasty are falling back onto their comforts. Coil is going to be on the Estelle, the Juliet on Zyra, which is pretty much his most played character by far, and then Asianator on that Finny once again. That being said, pretty much the only difference comp-wise is that we see that Estelle go over to Coil, and it'll be Juno picked up by Zaxmac instead, which makes sense on the hotshot start. Still incredibly powerful on Juno. She doesn't really care that much about prime time, even though the extra slime is helpful. It actually reduces the core speed sent out from those slimes. So oftentimes you'll see a lot of Junos pass up on that awakening if they can. So we'll see. Definitely damage is something that can happen. Estelle is not going to be on those vice levels, but she's definitely able to set up a little bit of damage here for Zyra. And one thing that you could do as well, especially with Estelle Juliet, is just kill from coordinating knockbacks, because Estelle's primary just naturally has a lot of knockback, and that could assist Julie in getting the extra few pixels that she needs to to get that confirm on the dash punch. So I feel like if there is a team that'll be able to consistently pull that off, it is going to be Misfire Dynasty. So very excited to see pretty much every single player on that team on their comfort picks. If they want to win game 2 and bring this to a game 3, it'll be on these picks, I think. So very excited to see what will happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely kind of a... Oh, I would just say like more of a standard-ish comp from Misfire, but the Finny goalie kind of makes it seem a little bit more interesting. I mean, the hotshot Juno here from Zaxmac is obviously going to be something to look out for. I mean, hotshot from both sides is going to be something to look out for. The Estelle as well is also going to be really good with it, but Juno kind of famous for sending the core at Mach 10 just kind of for fun, and with the hotshot start, it's something to be a little bit scary. However, we were talking earlier about like Finny having that move speed, just being able to run around and grab stuff, so it's gonna help out Asianator quite a lot, especially having the secondary as well. There's like an 8-second cooldown on that secondary now, where you can literally just point and click a hit somewhere on the map, which is also gonna be really good for kind of dealing with the core going fast when you can't get to it. So Asianator might be able to hold against this pretty well. Carmine, however, on the Kazan once again. Once it hits overtime, should it be a hotshot pickup? It might just be a primetime pickup here, which
I think it's
more than likely, honestly.
Disturbing ability. This crooked leverage is such a disturbing ability. The lingering hit box, how it can intercept, how it could do mix-ups. It's one of the highest, admittedly one of the highest. I think at least one of the coolest abilities in terms of like what skill expression you could do with it, but it's also really disturbing because of that lingering hitbox, because of what you could do with it. It feels unfair at times, and just getting an extra one of those can definitely mean a huge difference, especially for mixing up Asianator in these situations.
Yeah, absolutely. As looks like we're getting into it, Coil with the piercing shot is going to be able to bring down the second barrier from the side of Corpse Control here. Pass down to Zari. Almost actually finds it in right there, but so far K20 will be able to hold. Looks like another setup, though. Almost the same. Zari just going to be able to find the dash punch, just hit stun K20 and let it kind of slide right in there, as Misfire Dynasty will be setting us off with the first point here. And yeah, just looking at the Awakenings real quick, it was in fact Carmine taking prime time and just everyone else going hot shot all around. Interestingly, K20 went for Powerhouse Pauldrons instead of Strike Shot like he did last time. I guess just doesn't want to die to the Juliet dash punch as much, which, I mean, right there, I think that might have saved his life. So interesting pickup, but I guess it seems to be paying off.
Yeah, especially that's how the Estelle and Juliet are going to get you. They're going to get that dash punch or that piercing shot while you're sitting on the back line of your gold net. So I could, very easily see that justified. The knockback resistance is incredibly helpful, so it's actually going to be pretty hard to kill K20 in these situations. That being said, we are even up in the game. Looking kind of on the other side, Zaxmac and Carmine now have hit level 2, so they're going to have a lot of extra offensive pressure that they didn't have for the first point of the game. So we'll see if they'll be able to carry that advantage here into a set win.
Yeah, but now it's Corpse Control who are once again dealing with an open goal situation, and 2 flips over on the side of Misfire Dynasty could be a bit scary. The drums there from K20 are going to shut down Zari for a moment, but not long enough, as Coil's just kind of able to set him right back up and take a second point now for the side of Misfire Dynasty. A little bit of a quick one there. Some good positioning there from Coil to be able to kind of just send that right back in when K20 thought it was like pretty much all locked down. But now it could be Corpse Control with a bit of an energy advantage here, and Carmine already kind of capitalizing. Getting one barrier, getting a second one as Aginator whiffs the core flip as well is pretty big for the side of Corpse Control. Now Zaxmack passing it up once again. Carmine with the crook leverage, but Aginator able to hold it once but not twice. Zaxmack able to jump in and find the shot, as now we're all tied up in the first set, 2-2, as both sides would really like to get some good awakenings going, as something tells me, I mean, literally every point, every awakening is going to matter in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so many, obviously all the big heavy hitters are up. Quick Strikes, Catalyst, 1-2 punch for Zyre, size, generally, big fish, blah, you know, all that stuff. So getting early wins, of course, are going to help you here in this situation, but obviously this also being a potentially game or series deciding game here, yeah, definitely we'll see who stays calm in this situation. Now it's going to be an open net for the side of Misfire Dynasty.
Oh, and Carmine with the crooked leverage doing the classic Kazan mix-up there on the Aginator. That's what we're talking about with the prime time. That hook is...
It's disgusting.
It takes a 50-50 and turns it into a 100% guarantee. Because it's a coin flip that you can re-flip, basically, after you see the results. It's kind of crazy. And the Rampage pickup there is going to mean big size going over to Kazan. Stacked pickup for the Estelles, of course, really good. Rapid fire on the Juno as well for Zaxmack is really nice. Orb Ponderer for Aginator, always good on goalies. More cooldowns as well on K20 with the Twin Drive. And Big Fish actually getting picked up here by Zari. So both the brawlers getting some nice size there. Both the midfielders getting some nice kind of control. And both the goalies getting some cooldown. So once again, I mean, these drafts have been pretty equal, like, throughout this entire series. Like, no one's absolutely dominated draft, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. I think that wow, it's an immediate open net. I think that Zyre getting Big Fish is really interesting for that double scaling. Again, like I mentioned, the size plus the Sagger, all the Sagger is going to be still up. We've seen Rampage unfortunately gone, but I believe there's one more size wave. I actually can't think of it. But that being said, he did pass up on the Adrenaline Rush for it, which I think actually might come to bite him in the butt if KOing does become enabled, if he picks up that 1-2 or like heavy impacts going into this. But it might not even get to that point, as right now Carmine with his prime time is absolutely getting the core past Aginator and Coil on so many occasions that, you know, it might not even, yeah, you might find a lot of opportunities to just score out right before the game really gets started.
Yeah, right now K20 holding strong, getting it away from that piercing shot just in time as well, and getting back over to Carmine. Coil forced to burn the core flip here. K20 now pushing up on this bottom side over Zari, gonna catch him out and knock him off the edge with the dash punch here, and be able to get the barrier off of it as well in the power play. Carmine's also not looking very healthy. Needs to avoid that black hole as well. Might have to fall back for just a moment here, but Corpse Control will be able to hold out to their goalie. It's back online here, but both sides are opened up right now. Zaxmack with the core, dealing with the grand finale. Stuck in there for a moment as Carmine is back on the defense right now. Coil looking for a shot to the bottom, and Carmine can't get there in time. And it's a point, again, going over to Misfire Dynasties, who are up 2-0. But this is the 2-0 comfort zone for Corpse Control, it seems.
Yeah, and actually, I want to point out this really small detail, but Zyre just punched Carmine with a primary, normally not hugely impactful ability, but he actually would have reached that core if not for the momentary hit stun that was granted to him from that punch. So really good, like, just understanding of how goals work, I guess, from Zyre, being able to recognize that, as he DCs, unfortunately, being able to recognize that Carmine can, like, won't be able to interact with the core if that punch goes out. And unfortunately, it does look like Zyre might be gone for a bit. I've actually never seen a DC like this where the character just sits back and walks. Normally they're just like gone, or they walk off the stage. So looks like they are electing to just wait out the point, waiting for Zyre to come back. An absolutely nice gentleman's move here from Corpse Control. But it does look like Zyre is back, so we might be back in business very soon.
Yeah, it looks like they're back on it, and the Corpse Control nabbing a little barrier there as well, kind of evening it up at the moment. But Aginator does have a flip up. Actually, has to burn it right here as Carmine was making a break for it. Snare Drone's coming out. It's not going to be enough. Is already able to pick up a barrier in return, though. Both sides opened up once again. Zaxman getting it down to Carmine in this bottom side. But Carmine, once again, taking a lot of damage. That 50 secondary eating into his stagger bar and has to fall back to avoid Zare or Coil just knocking him off the edge right there. We start to go into overtime. These core speeds are really going to come online with the hot shot now. Carmine in possession, able to get the barrier here. Core flip from Coil. Zari can't quite find the flurries, though. It will be K20 flipping right back. Getting it back over to Carmine now, but Coil and Carmine both staggered and looking a little bit scary. Zari looking to maybe buy a little bit of time for Coil, it seems. Let him kind of heal back up. Aginator holding it down as well. Zach Smack, it's a little bit far back. K20 brings out the ensnare drums over to Carmine. Crooked leverage, but it's not going to be enough. Misfire will be able to hold, but the top spin, we'll see Coil fly off the stage, not able to recover with Carmine dropping abilities back there. And Zach Smack with the slimes, just being able to jump in, kind of capitalize on the loss of a midfielder there and put Corpse Control onto the board.
Yeah, well played from Zach Smack, getting that score in, and honestly, yeah, just playing very, very well this series. I made a comment about it at the end of the Oni Village game, but this guy is looking to be the true scorer here of Corpse Control in a lot of situations. Carmine usually able to find maybe a barrier or two in these situations, but wouldn't be able to find the goal without the kind of like the final redirect assistance of Zach Smack. So honestly, really like a lot of props. I think he's playing really, really well, very quietly, but very, very well nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach Smack's been holding it down and applying a lot of pressure here, and the Hotshot Juno is definitely helping out here as well, but looks like Zach Smack may have to put in a little bit more work here as Carmine is once again looking pretty low on the stagger bar and gonna have to actually getting taken out there, getting caught up in Zare's flurries. It's gonna mean a power play here for the side of Misfire Dynasty. Coil gonna have a core flip up here shortly as well. Zach Smack just looking to buy some time, keep it in this top corner. Coil with the flip sends it down, but not gonna be able to get really anything off of it. And Carmine is back online. However, it's a tight corner here. Core flip from K20 is gonna do enough damage for Corpse Control to find the KO, and now it's a flip, or sorry, now it's a power play for them. They're gonna have to do enough. However, Coil with a piercing shot actually picks up the barrier, looking to win the 1v3 right now, potentially. K20 will be able to hold it down, and Zare is back online now. As Zach Smack passing up to Carmine, bringing it down to this bottom corner. Zare with the dash punch for Carmine, doing some work right now. Press the point to find the barrier. Flip from Aginator as well. A big reward here, but they still need to seal it out and find this point. Carmine with a crooked leverage back into the bottom side. Absolutely disgusting point. Strike into hook and then just strike it the other direction. Like, what do you do?
I mean, it's just disgusting primary ability. That's all I've got to say about it. It's so hard to deal with as a goalie, especially in those situations, because again, you know, like you mentioned, you just reflip the 50. So you're not ever rolling 50-50. You're always rolling 75-25. And that's just really hard to do. It's really hard to call out a forward twice, essentially, in the same play. It's going to be incredibly hard for any goalie to do that. So things are, Carmine playing really, really well, has a lot of opportunities to just score, and there it goes. Just one strike or a win. It's all it takes for them now all of a sudden to be up 2 sets here in the potential deciding game.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Corpse Control. As we see, yeah, Quick Strike showing up on the board right here. Perfect Form is here as well. It could end up getting down to Zaire, which would be pretty nice. Aerial's pickup here for the Estelle is also really good. Projectiles and, of course, that dash range. It's like Zach Smack going for the Unstoppable here. It's a pretty good pickup against the Estelle, and actually heavy impacts going over to the Juliet here also. Really good pickup. Extra special once again on K20 and Glass Cannon over on Aginator. Perfect Form not getting picking up. Looks like there were some other options that people were going for, but once again, pretty nice draft all around. The quick strikes on Carmine is, of course, going to be really nice with how he's been playing. He's absolutely going to be taking advantage of that extra strike speed and extra energy as well. Yeah,
it's incredibly brutal on Kazan because of the way his strike kickbox works. He just naturally has better strikes, essentially, in a lot of situations. So having quick strikes and being able to win a lot of those situations means that those 50-50s that he gets to flip twice are now going to be, 60-40s that he gets to flip twice. It's all going to be rough. And then another thing I want to also talk about is this big fish pickup from Zaire is biting him in the butt. He's now able to get the heavy impacts, which is required for him to get a lot of these KOs. But now he doesn't get anything from those KOs. He just gets the KO. He doesn't get to chain that off into a goal or anything. And the win condition isn't as strong as it would be. So we'll see if they'll be able to kind of get this finished.
Yeah, and both sides opened up now. Carmine pushing up at this bottom side now. Zach Smack running in here as well, throwing out some slimes. Kind of forced Zaire to come back onto the defense, but K20 got locked into the drum and bass for a little bit too long there, and as the core got past Zach Smack, it was just kind of able to float right in. So it would actually be Misfire Dynasty's first on the board here, but core flips are coming up across the board right now. Everyone's about to have one this set. So any big plays could be happening right now. I mean, that being said, kickoff, it will be a barrier going down for the side of Corpse Control. It's already, you know, a lot of damage right there as well, but now it's going to be up to them to try and find some barriers of their own. Carmine blocking, Asianator's flip, but getting both barriers off of it is absolutely massive. As Zachback looking to continue the push here, coming down the bottom side. There's the slime. K20 probably going to send it right back in here around the black hole. Sorry, dashing right in there. Core flip's going to find the KO, though. And now a flip here from Zaxmack to send it back over to Carmine. There's the hook, but Asianator able to hold it once. Flip from Coil to buy some time, but K20 passes it right back to Zaxmack on the bottom side. Top spin in the slime. And a big score with the goalie as well from Carmine. Makes Corpse Control tie it up at 1-1.
Yeah, it just feels like Misfire Dynasty don't have a win condition in draft anymore. It feels like they didn't really get an Exodia versus Carmine. It was this absolutely disgusting Kazan build. Quick strikes plus size plus prime time. He has so many tools to just get it past this Finny goalie that there's really not much Asianator can do in a lot of situations. It feels like Carmine's going to be in his head a bit, but regardless of whether or not he is, he just has way too many tools to work with. It's just going to be so hard for Asianator to defend against that, even with all this move speed from the momentum boots, from the glass cannon, even with the extra cooldowns. There's just feels like it's not enough to get past this Kazan.
Yeah, Carmine is, just putting up a lot of work right now, and it's been much more of a struggle on this map than it was on Oni Village, where you had a bit of that extra core speed to work with for the clears right now. But yeah, literally just 1v3ing in the bottom corner. I mean, nerf this Carmine guy, because that puts Corpse Control onto match point right now, and they're going to have flips up for this round as well.
I mean, there's just no other way to put it. He just destroyed him. Just full, you know, you've got my battleship. You just got him. It's just, I don't know words. It's a disgusting build, and Carmine is piloting it very well. It just feels like there's nothing that Misfire Dynasty could do to just get core control back from Carmine in this situation.
Yeah, with that KO there as well. Carmine burning the flip here. Unfortunate angle off the corner, though, does mean the barrier will stay up. Is already back online here. Misfire may have a chance to score here as Coil blinks in and actually will win the strike war against Zaxmack to be able to do so. It will tie it up at 2-2 right now. With Corpse Control on series point, this is a very dangerous situation. Misfire are literally trying to reverse sweep the series, basically. I mean, it wasn't a sweep, obviously, but they have to win. They have to win the game by winning the set without letting Corpse Control get one.
Oh, no.
Disastrous flip from Asianator. Both barriers are gone, and Misfire's goal is wide open right now. Carmine versus Coil in the midfield to try and bring the core up and finish this out, perhaps. K20 dribble off the backside, pass up to Zaxback in the top. There's the slime. Carmine doesn't quite grab a hold of it, but Zaxback has a flip up. Now pushing up into this corner here. Coil and Zari buying as much time as they can. But the barrier is not going down yet. There's the ensnare drums from K20. Zari dashing in. But K20 has too many hitboxes on Mako. And now it's back to Carmine here. In this bottom corner, dashing down. There's a pop-up. Not going to be able to grab the core, unfortunately, though. Grand Finale coming out. Trying to get over to Zari, but the guy is too staggered. Core flip from K20 as well, just pushing him away. But we'll find a huge KO onto Zaxmack, and K20 not able to clear it around the backside, means the barrier is down. Carmine, though, finds the KO onto Zare, and now it's a 2v2. Coil shot to the top. K20 gets stuck in the drum and bass again! And that's the set going over to Misfire. They're going to be able to drag this one out a little bit longer. They'll take it to a set 4, and they might just be able to take this game back.
What an insanely clutch play, honestly, from Coil, able to get that goal. Clutch KO as well from Zyre. I ended up trading his life for it, but that was really, really good. And that being said, looking at this, things are a little rough, I think. I think that Zyre here... Oh, Might of Colossus is the other size training that I forgot as well. So it's Might, Big Fish, and... now I'm forgetting the other one, but, well, I mean, you can't deny Zyre here. Yeah, Rampage here. You can't deny there's a Reptile Remedy, there's the Bulk up here, so now he's got 2 Stagger Awakening, he's still got the size. So despite the literally double deny here of the Might of the Colossus and the 1-2 punch from Carmine, Zyre is still pretty happy with this draft, and importantly as well, peak performance is going to still be in this draft for set 5, so if Zyre gets his hands on that, he's going to be a move speed monster. So even though I said that the Adrenaline Rush was kind of biting him in the butt, I mean, the kind of the draft advantage given from Big Fish is actually pretty strong here in this situation.
Yeah, they also got a lot of damage kind of on that draft as well. They were already kind of doing it to Carmine, but now they have even more potential to KO him. I mean, that being said, Carmine literally just KOs, but then launches it backwards and own goals kind of. The maddening descent, unfortunately, is a bad angle. So Misfire will be first on the board here. Corpse Control cannot lose this game. If they're going to lose this game, it has to be because Misfire came back. They can't lose it off of something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's just that's a crazy demon angle to pull off with your Kazan there. And with another KO here found by Zyre, things are looking really good. The stacks have now been reset. They've got an open goal. If they score this right here, right now, they're going to be incredibly advantaged here, coming to the potentially final point. But Carmine has an answer for that, and that's going to be Quick Strike Kazan.
Yeah, and Primetime as well, putting in a lot of work. I mean, this guy just has something to hit the core back every single time, it feels like, as Zachmac keeps sending it in. Flip from Aginator is going to have to come out there. Coil teleporting in, looking for the setup, but can't quite find it. Now it's back to Carmine. Zachmac also pushing up here. Great save from Aginator once, but Carmine will find it with the pop-up. As Corpse Control looking to tie it up now, and maybe hopefully just seal out this game and this series for them. But, I mean, Misfire are on their doorstep. Any small mistakes will get exploited here. They cannot afford to mess this up.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't see any double barriers, I think. There just has to be a lot of momentum here coming out, and Asian are good patience getting that clear. Now Zyre should be able to capitalize, but I forgot as well, Mako into Juliet's an incredibly poor matchup for the Juliet. They're just doing basically everything that Juliet does is matched by the Mako, but they are able to find the open goal here now, so we'll see if they will be able to close out this point.
Zachmac taking the core down the bottom side. Coil with the blink will stop the pass. Core flip comes out, but it's going to get blocked away here. And now Zare and Coil looking to push this bottom corner. Zachmac, though, is on the defense, trying to hold it down. There's the flourish from Zare. The slimes, though, from Zachmac all holding it down. But Carmine is not looking too good, and Zare is hovering that KO, potentially. Actually going to find it onto K20. That's a goalie down. Core flip from Zare sends it in. And that's Misfire Dynasty now on set point. I think K20 was watching Carmine because they thought the Zare was going to go for him, but then Zare said, hey, you're standing too close to the edge. Don't do that, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. Just taking advantage of one small misstep from K20 to just snowball away from the point. They still have the energy of Carmine and Zachmac to get through, which I don't think they'll let that go down without a fight. But especially with this dash punch now missed, there's an uphill battle here for Misfire Dynasty. I think they have to find opportunities here, but not a double barrier found from Zyre. Still advantaged here. Unfortunately, I'm just caster cursing it left and right. It's an open goal. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, they had the power play, but then they lost both barriers on it, unfortunately. They do get the second barrier, though, and a snipe from Aginator, the missile propulsion! The missile propulsion pickup just came in massive to not only take the point, but to take the set. That's Misfire Dynasty. They brought it back from the brink of death. We're going to a set 5 in game 2, and there's everything that's left. Team player, catalyst, peak, explosive, orb dancer, reverb. It's guaranteed.
This is so good.
It's guaranteed that Zare gets a Stagger Awakening here as well.
Yeah,
or Catalyst.
He get peak performance. He get Catalyst.
Whoa.
What is that? What
Wait,
is that?
that's chilling.
Okay, hold on. This is terrible. You just denied Orb Dancer. Okay, hold on. You denied Orb Dancer from your 5 Orb Ponder Finny. You denied your own Stagger Exodia by getting the peak performance. Catalyst, okay, I get it. It's really strong. Like I don't mind passing up an Orb Dancer for that. I mean, Orb Dancer is really strong, just generally. I get it. No, no, that's just unacceptable. I hate that draft so much. But I mean, individually, they are powerful awakenings. They are very, very good. The Orb Dancer is very, very good for Zyre. Move speed on Julie is incredibly good, more so than most other brawlers. And so I could see why you'd pick it up, especially if you feel like you have easy access to it. But I just don't like it. I think you should have gone the Catalyst if you really wanted to deny it, or you should have gone your Peak Exodia with the Big Fish and Reptile Remedy. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I think it makes sense for Aginator to deny it. I think I would have given up the Orb Dancer, but yeah, I feel like now it's just going to be Snowball. I feel like they just lost. I'm sorry. I feel like they just lost the draft here really bad.
I think that was kind of the first big questionable draft we've seen all series. 'Cause yeah, I agree. I think just taking the peak would have probably been the play there, but looks like Carmine will be able to find the pop-up. and get the point after a bit of a hectic round right there. Set. Corp Control did reset Aginator's orbs here. So no more like massive cooldown bursts on the Finny is going to be a pretty big advantage for them as well. And not having stacks yet up on Coil. Coil only has 32 stacks right now. That set was really quick, and Carmine just picks up 2 more Rampage stacks with that double barrier. Everything's going in Corpse Control's favor at the moment. They have the double barrier to work with. And Snare Drums there from K20. But Chilton trying to get across the midfield line right now. Coil and Zare pushed up, looking for this top barrier. Zaxmac is on the defense, though. Holding it down. They will find one. Zare with a shot to the bottom. Finds a second one here. There's a triple take, sending it back in from Aginator, though. Zaxmac looking pass over to Carmine in this top corner, looking for a shot to the top. Not able to find it, though. Zare, great strike war against the Crook leverage. We'll keep it out of there for now. Now it's Zaxmac and K20 looking to solve this puzzle. Coil almost finds a shot off the wall there, but now it's Carmine looking for a shot. Slime not quite able to get it done. Aginator able to save that one here. And now Coil looking for a shot to the bottom. K20 saves it once, but not twice. Coil with the core flip will be able to sink it into the top and tie it up here 1-1. It's just been absolutely... This has been a crazy series. It's been neck and neck, goal for goal the entire time.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. This is a good series, really good showing from basically both Titans right now of Nasty, Corpse Control and Misfire Dynasty here, and I think that even with kind of that weird draft, Zare does have that 5 Orb Dancer stacks. He is a very, very mobile Juliet right now, especially if he grabs one of the orbs. So they're using that to their advantage right now to get a lot of these goals, and that does continue. This could potentially be a problem for Corpse Control, but with an open goal right now, they've got an uphill battle.
And I mean, there's a lot of damage onto Carmine at the moment, so they could be looking for the KO potentially, as you see his staggered having to fall back. That's going to give him a little bit of time and potentially a little bit of pressure. Coil finds the KO with the blink here. Now it's Zaxmac looking to buy some time. Burns the flip, sends out the slimes here. But Adrian and Coil can't get it out! They keep sending it into the slimes. The perfect placement. I mean, it was just going too fast, I guess, and that's going to be the point going to Corpse Control. They're on a series point off of that.
Yeah, well played. I think that was it might have been a blunder from either Coil or Aginator. I feel like there might have been a down clear, but they were probably worried about Zaxmac's jump or primary. Plus the core speed, I could absolutely see that being the case. I mean, just very lucky placement. Plus really good, obviously really just generally good Juno play, but just, yeah, things worked out in Corpse Control's favor, and now they're going to be 1 point away from potentially taking this series and pulling out the upset of the season, but they do have an open goal to work with, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all right. Looking to bring that to the top corner here. Send down to the bottom, avoid the slime core flip here from Coil. It's going to get blocked by K20. His snare drums come out. The slimes as well in the defense, but Aginator pushing up to midfield to try and keep this thing going. However, Carmine and Zaxmac able to work their way back. There's the double barrier gone. Carmine hook up to the top, shot to the bottom, and it's Zaxmac with the jump, who's able to find the strike war. And that is Corpse Control taking it 2-0. The first team to take a series off of Misfire Dynasty, breaking the perfect record. And, I mean, what a game. They played that really well there.
Yeah, I mean, hats off. Before coming into this, you know, they were facing 9% odds of winning each set. obviously that's like not the correct use of the statistic, but that was the Titan that they were staring down coming into the series, and a confident 2-0 coming out. Carmine with an 8+2 and Zaxman with a 4+9. Both getting over 200 redirects. I think absolutely the star player is, I think, the offensive duo here from Corpse Control was incredibly powerful, looked really good in so many situations. It felt like Carmine and Zaxmac were on the same page pretty much the entirety of this series. And I mean, look at, once again as well, Zaxmac with such offensive pressure, more shots onto the goal than Carmine. I think MVP of the series, I think a quiet MVP. I feel like we were looking at Carmine's just like 1v3 plays a lot, but really honestly, like just looking at the numbers, looking at what happened in the game, looking at these statistics, Zaxmac I think pulled off a very quiet MVP in my books, and I think he earns the MVP of that series as well. So well played for Zaxmac, able to pull out the Juno, able to pull out the Estelle, and provide so much offensive coverage for the side of corpse control. And I really think that's what made the difference here in this series. So this is both of these teams obviously are teams that you'll look out for, but especially for corpse control, they were able to move kind of the immovable object. The defense of Misfire Dynasty looked really good, especially on that Oni Village game, and they were still able to get through that. So I think any team contending with them in playoffs really has to get their defensive plays in shape in order to ever contend with this team. Otherwise, they're going to be eaten alive by Carmine and Zach Smack in playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely a team to look out for. Pretty much the uncontested number 2 seed at this point as well, with Misfire being the uncontested number 1. So there's a very good chance that we end up seeing a finals with these two teams to maybe run it back. But I mean, it's gonna be close for sure. That was, I mean, very competitive series of Omega Strikers games, to be sure. And just, yeah, solid play from everyone. But yeah, like you were saying, Zach Smack putting up some pretty impressive numbers both of those games, on different characters on different maps, and just looking really really scary in general. So
Mm-hmm.
I do believe though that that's all we have for today. We're just streaming that this is the last week is only one series. So unless you have anything else to say, Brickbat,
I mean, yeah, this was, I mean, incredible, starting series for both these teams. Both the teams are from more or less, I believe, other than, well, they've had some competitive experience. I know Zaire played in like Westy Draft League, Coil had played on a substitute for Orbits in previous Nassel seasons, but like generally as starters, these are all pretty much their debut seasons. So honestly, coming into this looking very strong, these teams look very coordinated. It's very obvious that they put the practice in, they put the hours in to look good as teams. So very excited to see how this league turns out, how playoffs is going to turn out for Nasty, and who will be our first Nasty champions. Because of right now, I think both of these teams look incredibly scary, and I'm super excited to see them play off, in the coming weeks.
yeah, absolutely. And currently, I'll just go ahead and look at the current match standings. I don't know if these are going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there's like a couple teams that haven't finished their series yet or whatnot. But currently, as it stands, it's Misfire Dynasties, Corpse Control, Dubu Party, Ice Climbers at 4, the Fools Ones at 5, and Nothing Was Allowed at 6, who are currently set to advance to the playoffs. That may change. I don't know if the last ones have finished up yet or not, but that's currently what we're looking at. So either way, really solid roster. Definitely some upsets here. I think there were some teams that people expected to get into playoffs that did not make it, and some teams that were not expected to make it to playoffs that did. So very cool. Either way, it's going to be a really interesting playoffs. But that's all we have for tonight. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for playing in the league. And we'll see you in playoffs in a couple weeks. So that's all. Goodbye.